Hey folks, how's it going? We're at Belgrade International Airport in Serbia, and we're flying the FSLabs A320 today in Air Serbia colors from Belgrade to Tivat in Montenegro, where we'll fly that really fun, challenging circling visual approach to runway 14 in Tivat. So should be just about 45 minutes en route. We're going to be cruising at flight level 250. As you can see, catering is in progress, refueling is in progress, and through the transparent jetway there, you can see our passengers boarding. Let's hop in the flight deck here and get our pre-departure checks complete and get going shortly. Okay, welcome aboard the flight deck. Ground from cockpit.
Go ahead.
Oxygen test.
Roger.
Okay, that checks out. Okay, let's take a look at the flight plan here. Just under 230 miles from Belgrade to Tivat. At least that's the flight plan distance. Straight line distance might be a little under 200 miles. But Belgrade, we're departing off runway 12 today. Val 1 Delta departure. November 732 to the Papa Oscar Delta VOR, and then the Pod 1 Romeo Bravo arrival into Tivat. And of course, we'll take a closer look at the SIDS and stars during our departure and approach briefings. Okay, catering and refueling have completed. Let's get our fuel slip in here. On 5 and 95. Let's go ahead and send that out. Okay, let's go ahead and do our departure brief here. Are you ready for the departure brief?
Ready.
All right, this is going to be a standard left seat takeoff with takeoff flaps config 1+F and takeoff flex temp 67 degrees off of runway 12, V1 139, rotate 144, and V2 146. And the weather at Belgrade, winds essentially calm. Ceilings and visibility okay. Temperature 08, dew point -3, and QNH is 1024. And taxi route to runway 12 should be relatively straightforward. Let's look at that real quick. Alright, we're here at the terminal, and we're going to taxi to hold short of 12 via Golf, Alpha, and hold short of 12 at hold point Bravo for departure. During the departure, for any malfunctions before V1, such as engine failure, fire, loss of control, or aircraft unsafe to fly, I'm going to call stop, we'll reject the takeoff, brake, exit off the runway if able, and advise ATC. Any malfunctions after V1, we're going to continue the takeoff and treat it as an in-flight emergency. I'm going to handle the controls and advise ATC, and you back me up with the ECAM memo action items. Pending that, we're going to be departing via the Val 1 Delta departure today. And the procedure is to climb on heading 118 to BE 202, maximum speed 230 knots, about 5,000. Right turn 192 to heading to fix BE 206, maximum 250 knots, between 6,000 and 5,000. Another right turn on 250 degree track to the Valjevo VOR. Maximum speed 250 knots at 8,000 feet. Initial climb current is going to be 6,000 feet, and transition altitude is 10,000 feet. And notes here, RNAV 1 approval required, and due to interaction with other routes, pilots must ensure strict compliance with the specified climb profile unless cleared by ATC. In our case, of course, we're flying offline, so we're probably at some point going to assume that ATC has cleared us to continue our climb a bit earlier than the restrictions mentioned here, and we will probably climb up to your cruising flight level 250 a bit earlier than this. And weather is really nice outside, and no real special considerations for terrain on this departure. So that's it for our departure brief. Any questions?
None.
The 4-star checklist.
Cockpit prep.
Completed.
Completed. Gear pins and covers.
Removed.
Signs.
On auto.
Adheres.
Nav.
Fuel quantity.
3,900 kilograms.
Takeoff data.
Set.
Barrel ref.
QNH 1024 set.
1024 set. Down to the line.
Hey guys, all packs are on board. Are we cleared to close?
Thanks, it'll be a short taxi.
Thanks.
Cabin crew, arm slides, and cross-check. Beautiful evening here in Belgrade. Doors are closed, and cabin is going to be secured shortly. Let's go ahead and request our pushback. Okay, request our pushback there from GSX. Let's get our beacon on. Below the line.
Windows and doors.
Closed.
Closed. Beacon.
On.
Thrust levers.
Idle.
Parking brake.
On.
Before start, checklist complete.
And let's do a quick added pushback here. And we'll push back to right about there.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes.
Parking brakes released. Let's move our engine mode selector to ignition/start. Starting engine 2. Starting engine 2.
Check.
IAEs today, of course. N2 coming up. There's a light off, EGT, N1.
Set parking brakes.
Parking brake set. Okay, good start on 2. Let's start 1.
Unlocking gear.
Starting engine 1.
Check.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin.
Alright, left and right are clear as per the pushback crew. EGT N1. Alright, and a good start on 1. Let's move our engine mode selector back to normal. Turn off the APU bleed, turn off the APU master. And ground crew is clear. Let's call for the after start checklist. After start checklist.
Anti-ice.
Off.
ECAM status.
Checked.
Pitch trim.
31% set.
Rudder trim.
0.
After start checklist complete.
Clear left side.
Clear right side. Check.
Brake check.
Pressure 0.
Alright, Golf, then Alpha, the whole point Bravo for the departure. Flight controls check.
Ready. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral.
Rudder.
With you. Full left. Full right. Neutral.
Okay, here's Alpha. We'll turn left. This, of course, is Orbx's Belgrade scenery. It includes a little bit of the cityscape for the city of Belgrade as well, which is pretty cool. And it is a really nice scenery. Scenery quality can be kind of hit or miss, I mean, with some of Orbx's sceneries, but they did a pretty good job with this one. Certainly liked it. Looks like we got an engine 1 oil temp alert there. It says delay takeoff, so we will. The oil takes a while to warm up there, or can take a while to warm up, so we'll delay takeoff until that oil temp warning goes out. Alright, that was more or less an artifact of how quickly the takeoff config button was pressed after we started the engine and started taxiing out, quite likely, so I think we should be okay now. Alright, before takeoff checklist.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Checked. Flight instruments.
Checked.
Checked. Briefing.
Confirmed.
Flap setting.
Config 1 plus F.
Config 1 plus F. V1. VR. V2. Flex temp.
V1 139, rotate 144, V2 146, flex temp 67 degrees. Flex temp 67 degrees.
V1 139. VR 144. V2 146. Flex temp 67 degrees. ATC.
Set.
ECAM memo.
Takeoff no blue.
Down to the line.
Okay, let's assume we've been given takeoff clearance here. Let's get our lights on.
Approach path clear of traffic.
Below the line.
Takeoff runway.
12 confirmed.
Confirmed. Cabin crew, be seated for takeoff.
Advised.
TCAS.
TARA.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Packs are off. Packs.
Off.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Okay, before takeoff checklist complete. Pretty excited to be going to Tivat to fly another one of these awesome, challenging approaches. with a visual circle to land procedure. And this scenery Tivat, as you're going to see, is just absolutely amazing. It's from Digital Design, might be their best work yet. Just absolutely fantastic. All right, let's get going here. Ready.
Affirm.
Takeoff.
Check.
Man flag 67, SRS, runway, auto thrust blue.
Check. Thrust set.
Checked. Checked.
V1. Rotate. Positive climb.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Thrust climb, climb.
Check.
Okay, we'll get the autopilot on. Let the aircraft fly itself here.
Taxi on.
And there is the Belgrade cityscape that I mentioned earlier. That comes with the scenery package from Orbx. It's really quite nice, as you can see. Flaps 0.
Speed check. Flaps 0.
After takeoff, climb checklist.
Landing gear.
Up.
Flaps.
Retracted.
Pax.
On.
Down to the line.
Okay, we're down to the line. Transition altitude for this departure is 10,000 feet. As we take another look at the scenery here. It's pretty cool. I am digging it. Okay, we're leveling off at 6,000 here. Let's go ahead and assume that ATC has cleared us to continue our climb up to cruising flight level 250. Open climb, let's keep it going here. And really nice spring evening here in Serbia. Nice views of the countryside there. Okay, to transition, let's go ahead and set standard.
Confirm seatbelts off.
Confirm. Set standard.
Standard cross check. Passing flight level 110. Confirm clear rad nav.
Confirm. Below the line.
Barrel ref.
Standard set.
Standard set. After takeoff, climb checklist complete. Now.
Checked. Okay, after takeoff, checklist complete. Another 50 miles approximately to go to the top of climb, and 205 miles to go to Tivat. All right, folks, sit back, relax, enjoy a few Chaseplane cinematic camera
Confirm.
views.
Copy. Activate to secondary.
Confirm. Of the cruise and portions of the climb, and we'll talk to you again in a few minutes through the magic of video editing as we come up on our top descent. Enjoy. Okay, folks, welcome back. So we're already coming up on our top of descent here in just under 14 miles. Let's go ahead and start prepping for the descent and arrival with our approach brief. Are you ready for the approach brief?
Ready.
Okay, the weather at Tivat Airport in Montenegro. Winds variable at 1 knot, so essentially calm. Ceilings and visibility okay. Temperature 05, dew point 03, and QNH is 1021. And we're going to be arriving via the Pod 1 Romeo Bravo arrival this evening. Let's go ahead and brief that arrival routing real quick. Okay, Pod 1 Romeo Bravo from the Podgorica VOR. we're going on to Sorok, maximum speed 250 knots, about 5,000. Olivu, again, maximum 250 knots, about 5,000. Right turn to Gosui, maximum speed 210 knots at 4,000, and then right turn to TV 301 at a maximum of 200 knots, above 2,600. At which point we'll be joining the localizer Yankee runway 32 approach with a circle land visual to runway 14. Okay, and 2 miles to go to our top of descent here. Let's go ahead and initiate our descent. Manage descent mode, and descent has been initiated. Okay, back to our approach brief from Tango Victor 301 on track 335 to the Tivat NDB here, where we'll join the localizer. And for the localizer Yankee runway 32 approach, localizer Tango India Victor frequency is 111.3. The final approach course is 335. Tivat NDB is our final approach fix, which will be crossed at 2,600 feet. At which point we can start descending. There's no circle land minimums, as you can see here, because that's a visual approach at that point. So we'll be at 2,600 feet until we reach DME 3.0 from Tivat, at which point we'll fly the circle land procedure for runway 14. Let's brief that real quick. Okay, from 3DME, we'll then be turning left on a 296 degree track to this waypoint here, which we have programmed into our FMC. And then we'll turn right again, and that waypoint, by the way, is 4.7 miles from the 3DME waypoint. Then we'll turn right on a track of 315 and continue on that track for 1.5 miles. And at that point, we'll start a 180 degree turn back to land on runway 14 over the bay here. So that should be a lot of fun and really nice and challenging. This scenery that we're going to be flying into is just absolutely spectacular. We've got these high mountains that go almost up to an elevation of almost 6,000 feet. So it's going to be pretty impressive terrain that we'll have some gorgeous views of as we do the circling visual approach runway 14 at Tivat. Airport elevation is 20 feet, and the turn is limited to a maximum speed of 185 knots. That should not be a problem for us. And here's the MDAs actually for the circling visual that was not listed on the localizer Yankee runway 32 chart. But the MDA for in the day is 2,040 feet and visibility minimum of 5,000 meters. All right, and not authorized at night, not a problem for us. Missed approach procedure, if you need to go missed, I'm going to call go around flaps, and the procedure, if a visual reference is lost, is to do an initial climbing turn towards the landing runway. Over the airport, we're going to proceed climbing to the Tivat NDB or marker, and as directed by ATC. And we're going to land flaps full today, auto brake setting of low on runway 14. And once we land, we're just going to go all the way down to the end, the turnaround point here, flip around, backtrack 14, and then taxi to the terminal via Bravo. And we'll park at one of the stands here at the terminal. Really, really straightforward. Okay, that's it for our approach brief. Any questions?
I'm good.
I have control.
You have control.
Okay, we're through 17,800 feet here, continuing our descent. And we do have some custom waypoints in our FMC here for that visual circle land track for runway 14. And all the information I needed to create these custom waypoints just came directly off that chart we looked at earlier for the circling visual approach. All right, very cool. Let's continue our descent here. Okay, we're coming up on 10,000 feet here. Let's go ahead and set the altimeter setting at Tivat 1021. QNH 1021 set.
1021 set, passing 10,000. Now.
Checked. Approach checklist.
Briefing.
Confirmed.
ECAM status.
Checked.
Seatbelts.
On.
Barrel ref.
QNH 1021 set.
1021 set. Minimum.
2040 feet set.
2040 feet set. Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Approach checklist complete.
Okay, approach checklist complete. You can see some of that spectacular terrain there that we're going to be seeing the other side off as we do our circling visual approach to runway 14. But already gives you a pretty good idea of how spectacular this approach is going to be. Only gets better from here, and more challenging from here, of course. All right. And let's assume we've been cleared the localizer Yankee 3-2 approach here, with the circling visual, of course, to 1-4. Going to roll the altitude selector here down to 2600. Okay, we're getting more scenic views now of some of the spectacular scenery from digital design for the airport of Tivat and the area surrounding the airport, of course, including photoreal scenery for some of these amazing, spectacular mountains that rise up to almost 6,000 feet. And of course, there you've got resort town. I think it's called Budva, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Coastal tourist town here on
Passing final.
the
approach
Adriatic
rate
Sea, on the coast of the Adriatic
260
Sea.
0 feet.
Checked. And we're gonna snake our way through this valley here on our way to the circling visual for 1-4 at Tivat. Really looking forward to it. There's the town of Budva there, modeled by digital design, and it looks like you've got some hotels there that are modeled as well. Looks like a really nice coastal city. Flaps 1.
Speed check. Flaps 1.
Gonna roll my altitude here down to 2100, just over MDA of 2040. Flaps 2.
Speed check. Flaps 2.
And we've got the runway in sight up ahead, as you can see. We're gonna go visual. And once we get a 3DME, we're gonna turn left to fly that prescribed track on the circling visual approach chart.
2500.
And essentially, if you don't want to program those waypoints into the FMC, it's pretty straightforward. Once you get a 3DME, essentially you turn left to track towards a village that you see up on the hillside for that mountain over there, leading up to that mountain over there. And once you get to that village, you then turn right to track towards a smaller coastal village that's on the coast of that bay there. And once you get to that coastal village, you then start a almost 180-degree right turn back to runway 14. That's the plan. Okay, starting to turn left here. And I'm going to go ahead and disable my terrain alerts here since we're visual and we're going to be eyes out. And I don't want any unnecessarily alerts.
100 above.
Unnecessary alerts from the GPOS warning system there. Okay, let's take it off autopilot here. We'll fly it in manually from this point forward. Flight directors off, bird on. So once again, we're tracking towards this village up ahead. We're just about over that village. We're then going to turn right to track towards that other coastal village there that's on the coast. And once we reach that village, we'll then start that 180-degree turn. Okay, let's go ahead and start descending a little bit more here. I'll descend down to 1500. Gear down.
Minimum.
Gear down.
Flaps 3.
Speed check. Flaps 3.
Flaps full.
Speed check. Flaps full. Cabin crew, be seated for landing.
Okay, as we cross over the shore there, let's go ahead and start our 180-degree descending circle back to circling turn back to 14 at Tivat. Landing checklist.
Cabin crew,
Advised.
auto thrust.
Speed.
Auto brake.
Low.
ECAM memo.
Landing no blue.
Landing checklist complete.
Okay, landing checklist complete. And it's a relatively shallow turn. We want to be rolling out on final before we get to that harbor there. So essentially, I think the circling visual approach prescribed track on the chart called for about a 1 mile final. So that's what we'll aim for. And we're doing okay so far.
1,000.
1,000.
Not bad, not bad. And thankfully, winds are essentially calm at this point, but I can imagine with high or gustier winds, higher or gustier winds, that this approach would be really, really squirrely.
500.
All right, not bad. Rolling out on final here, getting lined up.
400. 300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. Retard.
Spoilers. Reverse green. Decel.
All right. Full reverse. And we'll take it all the way to the end here and flip around at the turnaround point. Okay, turning it around here. Alright, and we'll stop it here momentarily. So before we backtrack and taxi down 1-4 here to Bravo and to the terminal and call it an evening, let's go ahead and, of course, take a look at a couple of quick replays of that landing. Okay, folks, welcome back. Let's go ahead and backtrack here on 1-4 and take taxiway Bravo to the terminal, and we'll shut down, call it an evening. Let's get our after landing flows going here. Co-pilot's gonna retract flaps, disarm the speed brakes, all that fun stuff. After landing checklist.
Flaps.
Retracted.
Spoilers.
Disarmed.
APU.
Start.
Radar.
Off.
Predictive wind shear system.
Off.
After landing checklist complete.
After landing checklist complete. Okay, coming up on Bravo here. Let's get the aircraft slowed down. Doing a bit of a high-speed taxi there. And let's get our taxi light off as we turn into the terminal here. Taxi light off. Okay, we'll try to park next to that 737 there. See a Learjet on the ramp. I think that's a Fokker 100 there. And this is a beautifully detailed terminal from Digital Design. I think it includes the interiors of the terminal have been modeled as well. And we'll take a look at it actually during the outro before we before the video ends. Okay, down to stand 5 here. Let's go ahead and request the GSX marshaller here. Alright, cool. And the marshaller is clearly not happy there, but watch. All of a sudden the marshaller now thinks it's fine, we still got to pull forward a bit more. That's GSX for you. Okay, let's stop there. Set the parking brake. Wait for the APU bleed to come on. There we go. Let's go ahead and shut down both engines. And we'll turn off the seatbelts and the beacon. And the air stairs should be moving into position. Beautiful. This scenery truly is spectacular. Co-pilot going through the shutdown flows here. Post-shutdown flows. Parking checklist.
APU bleed.
On.
Engines.
Off.
Seatbelts.
Off.
Exterior lights.
Off.
Fuel pumps.
Off.
Parking brake and chocks.
Off and in.
Parking checklist complete.
Okay, parking checklist complete. Okay, baggage and loading should commence momentarily. Air stairs have pulled up, and here's the bus. So passengers should begin disembarking momentarily. This is a truly spectacular scenery, and that circling visual of runway 14 is a tremendous amount of fun. Okay folks, welcome to Tivat as our passengers begin disembarking. Thank you so much for watching, really hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you like this content, be sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And I look forward to catching you in the future. Y'all take care, bye-bye.